right, welcome back. Just did a review on the Nemo Tenser, and I figured I'd go ahead and do a video on the Nemo Hornet Ultralight as well. Like the Tenser, I've had this for many years now, well, 2 to 3 years. Been a lot of places with it, all over the US, and canyons, and mountains, and desert, and all the things have been rained on, and it has stood the test of time for me. I mean, when I say I use it, I've used it. And give you a quick little overview here of it. So this is the one person, and I think it weighs in at about 1 pound 10 ounces. So it's got all aluminum rods. It's got the footprint to it. It has the main tent, and then the cover and stakes is what it comes with, and obviously the bag. So I think it retails for a little over $400 or $450, something like that. And you know, it may seem pricey. For many years, I went through tents. I still have a lot of tents. I buy good tents. When I decided to buy this, I hiked into the Havasu Pie Indian Reservation in the Grand Canyon with a 2-person. So what I found with the 2-person is that I'd almost have to split it up, which is fair, because if 2 people are going to be sleeping in it, then you know it's fair to split it up. So because it was a little bit heavy, and so one person carried the poles, the other person carried the rest of the stuff. And then after that trip, I decided I'm going to go ahead and go with the 1-person ultralight. And something that when I see people camping or people that are just doing like weekend warrior stuff, the bigger the tent, the harder it is to keep warm. So our first trip out to the Rockies, it was me and a friend, and it was cold. And I didn't know at the time, like, the bigger the tent, you know, I didn't think about it, like the harder it is to keep warm. And of course we had the time of our lives, but as I started like reducing down into smaller tents and like really taking it a little bit more seriously, you know, that was a big factor in those situations. And even like this in the Coconino in Sedona, in Arizona, you know, Coconino is not far from Flagstaff or Sedona, but it was like 30 degrees at night, and this thing was clutch. When I first opened it up and seen the material, I was a bit skeptical. So the first few times I put it up, I sort of finessed it, because I didn't know if the material itself could sort of keep up with my lifestyle in the backcountry, and the environments that I camp in, like sections of the Appalachian Trail here at Red River Gorge in Kentucky, all the way to the deserts, you know, out in Moab and Utah and Zion and Bryce, and even like Kings Canyon, the Sequoias, and Yosemite. You know, this thing has been everywhere with me. And not that I'm just going to throw it up in the bush and let like limbs and stuff scrape up against it, but you know, I'm still going to take care of it. But I worry a lot less now, because it has most definitely surprised me on the durability of this material, and the fact that it weighs, you know, 1 pound 10 ounces is just incredible. It cut off like 4 pounds of just tent weight, but it's worked out great, especially with the Nemo Tenser. It's a regular wide. It fits great in here. I still have plenty of room for my feet and some other things. With the 2 vestibles it has, you know, I usually have to put my pack outside. You probably could, if you like to prop your feet up or anything like that, throw your pack in there. Now I have a 70-liter Osprey, so it's not exactly small. I probably could put it inside of here some way, shape, or form, but I am a side sleeper, so it doesn't really work out the best, or really even make sense for me to put my pack inside of my tent, especially if I have the 2 vestibles and I can just unzip it and get all, like, I'll prep my shoes for the morning, make sure they're covered, and get my like morning essentials out, like my coffee and stuff, and gas stove, and kind of keep them right there ready for me. So let's go ahead and get this thing set up. got some really good high quality tent stakes made out of aluminum, and it comes with these. And then I have some Eno ones in here as well, because I typically have my hammock along with me, and then extra rope, and then a reinforcement. These things, two things I never really use. So let's go ahead and get this thing down on the ground, and then we'll put the cover on it. So there she is in all of her glory. And for a single person ultralight tent, very, very roomy. So, and very, very aesthetically pleasing for campsites as well, with such a small footprint. So, I'll give you a little bit of a tour of the crib and how I use it. So you do have space here, over there, a little bit of headroom, along with some foot room. Now that's really good for just like pulling off a jacket, throwing down there, keeping down there in case it gets cold at night, kicking your shoes off. Up here I usually store like cell phones and power banks and extra batteries, headlamps, whatever. Anything like quick grab stuff that you can't basically put in the vestibule. Now underneath the vestibule, like I mentioned earlier, I'll put my pack here, get my coffee and stuff out, sit here, or if my shoes are wet, I'll put them out here as well. So got the little pocket up here, and it's got these. So on each side, basically what it does is it stretches it out and makes it wide. So it's not a saggy tent at all. It's 39 centimeters high. I can sit in it just fine, have plenty of room, as you can see. Real time, plenty of space for things, and it's just a really great tent. And more importantly, humidity can be a big factor in cheaper tents, which will cause everything to get wet inside. And as you can see, it's very well ventilated to keep that from happening. Now, if it is colder outside and colder temperatures, I will drop the sides when I'm sleeping. So by dropping those sides down, it keeps everything a little bit warmer inside the tent, but also, know your environment, know the climate, ideally the weather, sort of be prepared sleeping arrangement wise, whether that be, an extra base layer or something like that, an extra jacket on hand. Sometimes I keep my, Patagonia light jacket in here, and sleeping bag. Sleeping bags are very important to the situation that you're going to be sleeping in, and just kind of prepare for that as well. But I think the coldest I've ever slept in this thing was in the Coconino, and it was like 30s, and it was fine. It did great. So I hope you enjoyed the review of the Eno Hornet Elite one-person tent. Like I said, I've had it for a few years. I put it through the test all over the U.S. in different altitudes and environments as well. But stay tuned. I have a lot more stuff to review. It's not really a review channel. It's more so of doing this for you all and other people like myself to try and buy right the first time, and sort of my experience of it all. If you like the videos, subscribe to the channel, all the things that you do on YouTube. That'd be great. Until next time, peace.